It's the end of the day with Ray. Hello, my friends. Well, this weekend we had some extra time, so I was going through the industry's blogs and checking out some articles out there, and I ran across an article that was published by Scott Cullen from Cannata Report, and it was published last week, and it had to do with HP. They have an announcement they're going to make. I want to share my thoughts on that. And then I ran across the survey that was done in June of 2020, published in the KeyPoint Intelligence website. This was interesting to me because I'm reading this survey, and the first thing I'm thinking to myself, are you kidding me with this crap? Who the hell believes this kind of stuff? That's what I was thinking. But then I thought, well, wait a second. This thing was published over 2 years ago, so why don't we do a show on it? And then we could ask those dealer friends of mine that sell supply and service print equipment if that survey that was done back in 2020 helped them sell more toner and printers. Or did they think the same thing I did when they read it back in 2020? What a bunch of nonsense. Because I'm sure if you're customer-centric, when you read this survey, as I'm going to show it to you in a minute, you're going to think to yourself, that's just nuts. If you're product-centric in your thinking and your deliverable, you're going to think this survey is a home run. Oh, this is exciting news. According to this survey, I can remain product-centric for just a little bit longer. So I'm curious how you all thought about this, so please reach out to me and let me know. But let's jump on the Sharp Interactive board and let's check out this survey that was published in KeyPoint Intelligence website. It was back in 7/16 of 2020. 7/16 of 2020. Let me read it to you. Survey shows print remains important to new work from home employees. 85 questions explore remote work, printing, scanning, and more. 85 questions. That alone makes my head spin. I can't imagine, the person in their house. Phone rings. Yeah, can I help you? Yeah, this is so-and-so over at KeyPoint Intelligence. I have an 85-question survey I want to do with you around printing and scanning in your work-from-home office. Really? I have no interest in that survey. Oh, come on, and maybe they gave them a boat or something. I don't know. There must have been something going on. This company, KeyPoint Intelligence, they also have the BLI awards. They love awards. Maybe they told them they'd give them a plaque to hang in their house or something if they answered the questions. I'm just thinking to myself, 85 questions is a whole lot of questions, but it gets better. About 71% of remote workers paying for supplies say they print more for work if their employer covered this cost. The survey suggests that people receiving a printer from their company are most likely to be maintaining their levels of printing pre-working from home. Are you out of your minds kidding me? You talk about product centricities. Has nothing to do with the realities of the end user. It has to do with an industry that has to sell toner and printers in a world that doesn't want to use toner and printers. Yeah, you got to go out and meet with your businesses, get those businesses to buy the printer and the toner for the employee in their house, and those employees will print as much as they were printing in the office. If they have to buy the toner and the printer themselves, they're going to print a lot less, which will impact you. This is absurdity at its best. Does anybody not see the pure silliness in this? Really? How would you even have that conversation? I don't think you could use this with a customer. The customer would say, well, don't my employees just do what they need to do to get the job done? You mean there's a whole bunch of pages that are still sitting in the computer that they didn't print because I didn't pay for the toner? Are you kidding me? These business owners would look at these salespeople like they were out of their minds. Think about the brand new salesperson. The brand new salesperson comes into the organization. They're all excited to sell for XYZ copier company. Or maybe they're excited to sell for XYZ copier IT company. They're thinking, oh, this is going to be fantastic. We're going to go out and solve real problems for people in an ever-changing world. I'm so excited to be part of this organization. And then the sales manager stands up and tells everybody, hey, I read this survey from KeyPoint Intelligence. And it says if we could get our companies, our customers, we got to get our customers to buy the printer and the toner for the employee in their house. If we can get them to do that, they're going to print more. And then this new person's going to say to themselves, well, I thought we were supposed to help people so they benefit. So that's not what we do. We actually go out into the marketplace and we get people to do things only so we benefit. Like we want people to print more when that company's probably trying to figure out how to digitize themselves so they print less. We want to do the total opposite and go out and convince them to buy printers and toner for the workers in their house so they print more. So we want to defy the logic of a marketplace so that our old deliverable will maintain status quo. Is that what I joined? The salesperson's going to think, I thought you had IT on the end of your name and you really wanted me to come out there and try to sell some services that could benefit people. I didn't know it was trickery. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the craziest thing I've ever, and I've talked about this once before. I thought someone else did the same kind of survey. But this is craziness. This is the threat to our industry. The threat to our industry is not from the outsider. That's just one of them. The biggest threat is the internal processes and the internal thinking of the executives inside our industry that think some of this stuff is actually good stuff. This should have been questioned when it was published back in 2020. And folks, there was another survey like this, and I did question it, but nobody else ever did. 85 questions? I think our industry, some of its actors are completely losing their minds. Now let's talk about this. Oh, by the way, I put this together. Stop reading the scripted surveys and just go next door and ask your neighbors about their printing habits from work from home. You know, just ask them why you don't print. What has your company done to keep you from printing at home? What has your company done to keep you from scanning at home? See, we do it the other way. How would you print more at home? Folks, ask yourself why you don't print. Analyze all the things you stop printing before you start listening to those nonsensical surveys. Anyway, let's look at this article that was published in the Cannata report written by Scott Cullen. HP announces printing solutions for small businesses. Today at HP Amplify Executive Forum, HP Inc.'s annual partner roadshow, the company introduced HP Instant Ink for small businesses and the new LaserJet Pro with HP Plus design to simplify blah, blah, blah. HP going to sell subscription services to businesses. Oh, it used to be just people in the house. Our dealer friends, they didn't care about that. Yeah, probably shouldn't be giving HP all this data under Amplify because, you know, but they don't go to my customers. They're just selling people in their house. They're just selling small stuff in people's houses. Now they're moving into the business. Folks, I get emails every single day from HP trying to get me to buy stuff. And here's the reality. I think they're nuts thinking that small businesses are going to put these little tiny MFPs on subscription business platforms. They're just going to buy the crap. They want to click buy now and they'll do it from Amazon. Folks, this whole fantasy that we believe that every single thing in the world is going to be based on a subscription is a fantasy. Some things are just better off bought and paid for. Some things make sense on subscriptions. But print, I don't believe, is one of them because it's declining. And it's going to be less and less every day. Why do you want to bog yourself down with a subscription? It's just the reality. And even if they are on subscriptions, we're getting to a point where there's not going to be enough money in that to manage that, to supply that and service that without massive changes to our business infrastructures. We could build e-commerce platforms, but we still got to argue with you about that. Even though HP, now they're selling to the businesses, they're getting your data, they're selling to businesses. They have one of the most robust e-commerce platforms in the world. Boy, they're loving life. They're loving standing on stage at the little meetings with all you dealers and saying, what else can you give me? How else can you help me get bigger and better as I wipe out all of my competition? All of you folks in the audience. Of course, they probably didn't say that. But folks, I'm going through this article and it's just crazy stuff. They're talking about why it's so important and end users are so concerned they're going to run out of toner and all this crazy stuff around these little devices in people's houses. And I'm telling you right now, what they're going to do is they're building a platform so that they can navigate inside those businesses without resellers. They want to control the contracts. You might be a service provider for HP one day, but I'll tell you what, when you can't control the contract anymore, you're going to be in trouble. And I've been saying a long time that IT service providers don't give a flying crap about managed print, but they might be interested in vendor managing your contracts. They really might be interested in doing that. And then partnering with people like HP, loading up DCA tools on enterprise accounts, gathering all this information, then meeting with HP and say, hey, we're doing the IT at this hospital. Look at all the printers they got. Look at all this Cannata equipment. We want to replace that with HP, don't we? Oh, yeah, we'd love to do that. We'd love to do that with you. You don't have a dealer in this market, do you? Well, we do, but he's a print dealer and he doesn't really do IT, and you're the IT company, so I mean, we're just going to go ahead and give it to you. Folks, there are so many unanswered questions about the Amplify agreement. There are so many unanswered questions about how they're going to go into businesses and sell subscription-based programs. And I appreciate that Cannata Report wants to write this article. I don't expect them to write an article asking HP a bunch of questions about this. That's not how it works with most of our industry. They just want to publish whatever the OEM wants them to publish. They're not going to ask any tough questions, and we could probably guess why they're not. But at the end of the day, I'm going to ask them still, because I think we need to ask HP a lot more questions. And for some reason, they don't have to answer any of them. It's pretty crazy when you think about it. This is the last page of that, and I put up here, WTF. I really screamed that. I mean, I was like, I was swearing. You know, my wife said, why are you so upset reading an article? I said, this is the stupidest crap I've ever read in my life. Let me just read this. They're talking about the sustainable impact. I'm going to read this to you, and you could all, if you all don't start swearing or at least laughing your ass off, there's something wrong with you. In the U.S. and Canada, HP ink and toner cartridges can be recycled through HP's Planet Partners program. We're available supporting HP reuse and recycling process for reducing plastic waste and contributing to a circular economy. A circular economy? Are they telling you that you could take the OEM HP cartridge out of there and they're going to remanufacture that? Or are they going to recycle that? Because there's a difference, folks. There's a big difference. Here's the bottom line. Anything HP talks about regarding a non-OEM cartridge in that printer is you really suspect. I mean, come on. They've been chasing remanufacturers forever, trying to put them out of business. They keep making new printers and kicking off new printers every 6 months or so just because it takes a long time for a remanufacturer to get the tools and the processes down to remanufacture a cartridge. So they change stuff. They put patents on really stupid little things. Like, there's a dent in the cartridge up here, and we patent that dent. And don't anybody try to put a dent in their cartridge so it fits in that printer, because we'll sue you. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the most absurd thing on this whole entire article. And I question it big time. I question the most overreaching OEM in the world talking about sustainability and how they embrace remanufacturing HP cartridges. Folks, some things to think about, but everybody watching me knows this. Status quo is the killer of all that'll be invented. Don't get stuck in status quo, and I'll